What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Will of DDT. We have some gameplay for you guys. We're starting a series called Pirate Rumbles where we're going to be playing a lot more matches, showing you some matchups, going into regional season, heading straight into nationals right after that. So it's a pretty good idea to get as much knowledge as you guys can. And I have a host with me. We have Irrelevant.
Bia, it's good to be here. Let's just get started. While they're setting up the dice, figuring out who goes first, we got Yamato versus Issho. Two more low-key type decks. This is not what you're going to see most of the time, but we were discussing it, and Mujinator, who will be playing Yamato today, he's been telling me that she has been performing very, very well.
Yeah.
And of course, Anonymous is in love with the Issho. He's a green player through and through, and he pilots the deck well, and more importantly, he's trial and error that deck quite a bit.
Right. And taking our players aside, I would call these like those fringe regional decks where you have those players that are confident in a deck that they like. These are some things that you could see pop up, right? Like a pilot that's confident with this deck can make it happen, and you will always see those off. Like everybody wants to be that person that cracks these decks and top a regional with them. So it's always good to get as much experience as you can.
Yeah, and these are nowhere near meme tier. Mm-hmm. They're Yamato, Issho, both definitely viable in their own ways, and I think we're in for hopefully a pretty good game today. So, who is going first in this matchup? Yamato will be going first, and that is exactly what she wants.
Exactly.
That plays perfectly into her curve. The goal is to just drop that 7-drop.
Right.
Immediately.
And then, since they are, less common leaders, they're not the ones that you usually see on most YouTubers' pie charts of what's topping regionals. Yamato is pretty much a pseudo yellow Whitebeard, right? At some point in the game, she's just going to be 6k. When she's at 2 or less life, you attach a Dawn to her, she's 6k. And Issho is also one of the better utility leaders that we have that came out in set 4. His ability is basically you attach a Dawn, everything on your opponent's board loses 1 cost, and then you can spend another Dawn at the end of your turn to restand one of your characters.
Yeah, and that restand ability, if it doesn't sound like a lot, it is. Mm-hmm. Just being able to swing with something and protect it for 1 Dawn is very, very powerful. And
looks like got some action on the board. So after both players just use their first turn to search, Yamato starting with the aggression, swinging out life. Issho takes it, and right into another search. So Yamato's doing exactly what he wants to do, building that hand advantage for late game to be able to take on those big swings, and crafting his hand to be able to look for 7-drop Big Moms, the 9-drop Yamatos, just really controlling the opponent's board.
Yeah, absolutely. And Issho swings at the Yamato. Yamato's not even going to think. They want to take that life and get to 2 as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
To activate that effect, the leader ability.
I think, and you can speak more about this, Irrelevant. You want to get to 2 and you want to live there.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of where I think Yamato has a little bit of an edge on Whitebeard, where you get down in life, but you don't have to keep taking life. So that threat of lethal is further away.
You sacrifice safety for hand advantage.
Yes.
And I was speaking to Mujinator about his build of Yamato. He basically said, and that's exactly what they want to do, 5 on curve. Mm-hmm. You play a vanilla right now this is going exactly how Mujinator wants it to. But what I was mentioning, he said that the way he crafted this deck, it's pretty much like how you would craft Whitebeard. You play strong, low-cost counter events, and you run a lot of 2K counters. Mm-hmm. And you just want to get to 2 life and just keep protecting that Yamato.
I was talking to Mujinator before this game. He has 16 2K counters in the deck.
Oh, man.
16 2K counters. And I want to talk about Randolph a little bit. This card being released in this set was so good for yellow in general. Any yellow leader, and Parasparrow, the vanillas that were released in this set really rounded out yellow's curve. I think it is fantastic.
And there's something going on. I think what happened was he reduced the cost of That was a Suru. He reduced the cost of Randolph, made him a 3 cost, played Law, bounced the Suru back, and then played Kobe from Law effect, and KO'd the Randolph. And suddenly that board looks very terrifying.
Yep, that is some blocker Law shenanigans if I ever seen it.
And there was one YouTuber, he was talking, and he was pushing for Law to be restricted or banned.
Mm-hmm.
6.
And that is a bit of an L take, I think.
I think so. I mean, it's
he's
strong
very
for sure,
strong.
But
I mean, do you want to kill an entire color?
7 down.
I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
7 down. No, 6 down.
But I mean, I love how well-rounded Anonymous's board is right now. I mean,
He is a strong board right
that X Drake
now. I
is
think we
very
haven't
underrated.
We haven't spoken about that actually. Do you want to speak about it?
Yeah. So the structure deck X Drake, if you put a Dawn on it, all supernovas and navy characters on your side of the board gain 1k, including your leader, gain 1k. So that is pretty much his entire board. Everything on that board gains 1k, and now Brand New and Kobe can swing without a Dawn. So it's pretty incredible. I mean, everything's buffed up, but there's another strong vanilla that we were talking about for Yamato. Yamato doesn't. I don't think Mujinator's sweating at all right now because again his hand advantage is pretty good, and Yamato wants to get to a point where they're just dropping the 7s and the 9s consistently.
Yeah, and that Parasparrow is going to bring a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing Issho does is he doesn't really care that much because he's gonna swing, but he's gonna protect his X Drake unit.
Right.
However, he's down to 2 life already. He's a 4 life leader, and you can't keep protecting your units because eventually Mujinator's gonna say, "I'm just gonna go for your life."
Exactly. But we do have to remember that Anonymous took that Suru back to hand, so he has the leader cost reduction. Excuse me, and the Suru cost reduction. So there's plenty of removal in this deck.
Yep.
Looks like we're going for a 7k swing.
Yamato is still at
He's
5 until now. She
So now-
is 6.
Leader
K.
ability is live. Yep.
The 6k. If we have a die, we can just throw +1 on her.
6.
We don't have a die. That's for later. The production value is way too high on that.
Yeah.
Uh,
The budget will get there. we
we'll
promise.
get there. And you know what? It just got there.
There it is.
And she is a 6.
We'll soon have
I
a
have anyone
Patreon,
there.
guys, so you guys can donate and join the Patreon to be able to get us more dice.
Guys, please. We need die.
5 of us share that one die you see on the board.
And a lot of swinging going on and countering from Mujinator. Mujinator, can you show us the last couple cards that you just countered?
Sanji and Blocker Sanji.
Sanji and Sanji. Double Sanji, 1 2k counter. One of the 16. That is that plenty. And how big is that hand looking right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7
Still
cards,
7 cards
in
in
his hand.
Yeah,
You
he's
gotta
not
assume at
sweating
least
all.
3, maybe 4 of those
Yeah.
are 2Ks.
And again, there might be some fantastic triggers in life. Like, who knows?
8. He is
Ooh.
down to 2.
Okay, so he's swinging magic numbers.
8.
And there's one of those triggers.
Listen.
Hey,
What I was just about to say he's only down to 2. What are the chances? And yellow does yellow.
Yep. And he gave up a non-counter card. It's okay.
The Big
And-
Mom, and it's very possible he just has another Big Mom. He
Yep.
plays a full
Yeah.
4 play set of it.
So now what are we
4, 5,
thinking?
6.
If he has a 9-drop Yamato in hand, there's 3 life. He kills the Brand New. He kills Kobe. So that feels really good. He has removal targets, and he heals 1, staying at 2 life. You get there.
I think
you
go
live
for
there.
board, right?
Oh yeah, we definitely clear board here.
He's probably gonna untap. Yep, there it is. So he taps 1, and he's gonna decide what to save.
Yep.
If he restands the Law, he gets a blocker. If he restands the X Drake, he guarantees the X Drake pretty much lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that X Drake is so powerful, and he does play that Borsellino towards the end. The blocker Borsellino.
Exactly.
So he does have a blocker on board, and his board's looking pretty okay.
But the thing is,
How
that
many
Parasparrow-
cards in your hand? Pretty large amount of cards.
5 cards.
Still a decent amount of cards in his hand.
So that Parasparrow just naturally is going to swing magic numbers into this Law if that's where he's going.
Yeah.
And Borsellino, if he wants to block it, again, is at 6k, so it's not just blocking for free.
Yeah.
How many had?
And
5.
we are at 9 Dawn, so
And he just put 1 in, so
So
there's no
that's it.
Yamato coming down.
we could see a 7-drop Big
We can
Mom.
see Katakuri come down. as
Katakuri,
well.
yeah.
And he does swing 8 at the Law, and that is a tough decision.
So with the Katakuri, are we healing or are we removing?
I think you have so many cards in your hand, Oh man, but you have no blockers. That's the thing.
Mhm.
And he has a
6.
lot of units. Let's.
Right.
Both feel pretty bad,
Right.
actually.
I think there's a really good way to sequence this where Mujinator can plus significantly off of this. I mean, he's
Now it's looking a bit safer.
yeah,
If he plays a Katakuri,
yeah,
you might be able to get away with removing one of his that X streak.
yeah. The X-ray could be a bit of a problem, but again, his hand size is fine. What I think you do is, at the risk of coaching the players, I'll hold off. But that's the
We'll
point
see
is
once he
moot.
passes,
Unless if he doesn't have the Katakuri, there's still plenty of Dawn to allocate. You could put 3 Dawn on each of the
Yeah. Yeah, you could just
swing, right?
legitimately just go
wide.
Try going.
Exactly.
Applying a lot of pressure right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
But it's like, what does the clapback look like, right? Does Anonymous go for game if there's no heal, or does he?
I think Anonymous has to go for game
Yeah.
extra. There's no way around it. Mujinator has a lot of cards in his hand,
Mhm.
and he keeps asking Anonymous how many cards. It's still 5. It's still 5. A lot of thinking happening because I think this is a pivotal turn.
Right.
Next turn is either do or die.
Mm-hmm.
This game will be over in 2 rounds max.
Right. I mean, just looking at board state, you can absorb 1 hit by taking life, right? The rest of it comes down to what does that hand look like.
Right.
But again, he still has 8 Dawn, so Katakuri is still an option, and 7-drop Big Mom is an option. But when you put that 7-drop, I almost think Anonymous always burns that life.
See what he decides to do here. He swung 5. He does have a 6k blocker up right now.
So I'm liking this move right
I was
here.
just thinking that.
I'm
right now.
really liking this.
Now he starts thinking. Let's say he does block with Borsellino.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just put a bunch of cards and KO the Borsellino with the puddings then?
It really
You could
comes
do
out-
that.
You could do
You
that if
could
you're
do
confident that
You
you
have
can.
a lot of Dawn to work with. That's the thing. He has a lot
Yeah.
of Dawn to work with right now.
Because realistically,
And he
if
does
if
it,
that
he blocks.
Borsellino dies,
He does block.
so he did block.
And now
You
he has
only
some
go after
options.
that Borsellino, but that feels bad, right? Because
It
you're going
does,
after it with a
because-
2K
yeah,
base,
you
right?
have
It doesn't
to-
make sense.
You're waiting.
I think we're seeing the
seeing a
category. Yep,
Yep,
that's
that's
exactly.
I had a feeling that was what the play that you were thinking of.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, sequenced perfectly. He got the swing out. I mean, yeah, it was blocked for free.
Probably would have been better to swing with him first.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably would have been
Because
better
he
to
would
swing
have
with
blocked
that.
with the Borsellino,
Yeah.
and then you swing 6K with the leader.
Yeah.
But
But-
again, sequencing is a thing. We live and we learn, but at the same time, the end result's the same.
Overall, good play, solid play, and I think healing is correct
Yeah.
because you have 2 life now, and your hand is so big. You're sitting pretty. That Yamato's sitting at 6.
Right. And I'm pretty
And
sure.
things are looking pretty good right now. If I'm
Yeah,
Yamato.
for the yellow player, absolutely. Anonymous is thinking right here because he has 4 swings on board, but again, one of them is a blocker.
But
right?
that's tough.
It's
No,
it's
that's-
very risky.
And I don't think you're getting through what
Mhm.
6 cards in your hand.
And the fact that the Parasparrow was
Six-
put on
6
top,
cards.
it's pretty much letting him know if he swings at life, he is developing another swinger for Mujinator.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, I feel like you try to kill the Parasparrow and you hold.
Yeah, if he has another blocker, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
But that is a 8k Katakuri, 8k Parasparrow looking down
Yeah.
your throat next turn.
Yep.
It's
With-
not looking good at all.
Can we get a hand count again, Mujinator?
6.
6. Yeah, I mean, it's asking a lot. It's asking a lot of Dawn investment. You have to put 3 Dawn minimum on each swinger.
And he feels really good about putting that Parasparrow back in life.
Yeah.
7.
7 at life.
7 at life.
Yeah, I think you just picked this one up.
And he takes it. He does take it. He's going to use that trigger. KO the big
Discard it.
bomb.
Yep.
4 in hand? Or 5?
5.
So again, another non-counter gotten rid of
5
hand.
cards
So
left.
that's, Anonymous not feeling any better about that hand threat.
Yeah. And I still think this is either he wins or he doesn't at this
Yeah.
point.
I mean,
I think
2
it's going to be
8Ks.
really hard to somehow survive this next turn.
No Donna?
No doubt.
And we have to remember that Yamato's at 6K right now.
He
so-
could play another blocker or two.
He
That
could, yeah,
that could stall.
absolutely.
Trash.
That could do it. He's looking at
We're
trash.
looking at his trash.
Yeah.
Just trying to see how many 2Ks have been used. I don't think we've used a
I think
lot.
we've only used
Yeah,
one.
that trash is looking pretty thin.
Pretty thin. A lot of cards in his hand.
Mm-hmm. And again, we cannot discount another trigger out of life. So it's about like how risky do you want to get? And I mean, those puddings aren't doing anything on the board. You just swap them out for anything you need.
Right. And I think we're having a play come here.
Swinging with the blocker.
He was thinking about it.
Ten.
See, I like this play because Issho allows him to restand. He takes it,
Yep.
no trigger. Okay.
11.
And you know, he knows there's no point in restanding. Either you win or you don't. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yep. There's
And-
just 3 cards.
You know what? At this point, there's no down up, no blockers up.
Well, he's gonna restand.
No,
Oh,
he
has
no,
no
he
down.
didn't. Yep.
He has no down
You know,
to
he
restand.
went for it.
He won. He had to go for it.
So I mean, we got 2 8K swings here.
And I think
There's some
It's
pretty
pretty
easy
safe.
easy math here.
yeah.
But let's see. I mean, we have. Are we counting with our pinkies?
Pinky's first.
How many you had?
No,
That's
no.
actually a lot though. 6?
That's not.
6. Who knows? I mean, we could
Actually,
see a
six
Punk
is-
Gibson in life.
Punk Gibson in
Yeah,
life.
there's a couple of triggers there that
It's
could save. I mean,
possible.
there's no guarantee.
not
So it's
guaranteed.
almost
he
like
still has to. He's looking good, but he still has to play small.
he's not looking great. I mean, again, if he doesn't close the game out here or develop any blockers, his life is wide open, right? I mean, you can.
No, if he doesn't win this game, now suddenly Anonymous wins next.
Yeah.
It's
Anonymous put him at either you got it or you don't. So we're swinging 9 at life.
9. Yeah, I mean,
That's a good number.
good number. He still has. He has to hit him 3 whole times.
Yeah. 3 have to connect.
3 have to connect, and honestly, that's actually kind of tough.
Yeah, it's not asking for a whole lot.
That begs the question: do you? But if you clear board, do you
Okay,
have enough
took it.
counter to? Now.
So that hand size just got a little bit bigger.
Oh man! Suddenly.
But again,
This-
there's no don up for events, right? So
Yeah.
that hand has to be all 2K counters.
I think 9 was a bit tough.
It was a big commitment. But
That
again,
was a
he
big
has
commitment.
2 8Ks. And Yamato's at 6.
Yeah.
Right. So
Not yet. He has to use 1 Don, but
well, as soon as a don is attached, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So you get 1K from leader ability.
I think the question is.
See, Anonymous is a very methodical player. I don't think we can discredit what's in that hand. And again, since Issho is one of those fringe decks, and you know, green and black being an awkward color combination, we don't really know what to expect in that hand. Like, what defensive measures does he have aside from all these blockers?
Right. The 4 Don commitment in to start it off is a little rough.
We could
If
see.
you wanted to swing 9, I think the better place to play it safer. Put 1 Don on one of your big
Exactly.
units and swing 9 with them first.
Right. I
Rather
mean,
than
what
using-
knowledge do we have from the beginning?
We have
of the year?
nothing.
We know that there's a Suru in there, so that's 1 2K counter. There could be Izos.
This is
And
actually tough. A lot of cards in him.
It's there, but here's the thing: if he counters out the first time, then you go for board. But
This first.
even if you go for board, do you have enough cards to block a 15?
that's the thing, right? Without
15
developing, you don't go for board unless you can put a blocker on the
Yeah.
field. I mean, if,
Right.
if there's no blocker, then
There's no
you
point.
just go for it, right? If they got it, they got it.
And suddenly, this game is seesawing. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's due to misplays. I don't know if it's due to maybe I'm not seeing things correct. But
Right.
because
Because
now suddenly the game
yeah, you
feels
got to
really
about
bad.
it. Right.
for yellow.
If you think about it, if he can counter hits at life, he can counter to save his characters as well.
Yeah.
So it really is like, if it's there, it's there.
Oh man.
Let's go 7 at leader.
7 at
And
leader.
we know he has a Suru. He just
Okay.
needs 1 counter.
So there's a
And
2K.
He 100% has that for sure.
And a 1.
Oh, we did see him add that X trick as
Yeah.
well. So we did know
So
that.
you have 6, 5 in hand.
5 cards.
Still has
less
5
than-
cards in hand. Man.
Okay.
It's possible.
It's definitely possible, but also, again,
It's tough.
that
though.
card also that deck has a lot of non-counter characters as well. Again, especially if he has those defensive events with no Dawn up, they're not doing anything in that hand. Definitely a big think turn. Big think turn. We have to consider the threat of that trigger, if that last card is a trigger, and if he takes it, does it add counter to his hand?
If that last card is a trigger, Anonymous wins this game.
Yeah.
If it's not, I think the decision you make here depends on your own hand.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Mujinator, he's been playing this since super pre-release. He should know what he's doing. He's gonna start.
Okay, he decided to swap to board.
He's going at board.
You have 3 Dawn up.
Mm-hmm.
He lets it die.
Straight dies. And I think now he's fully committed to let me just try and protect
Mm-hmm.
9.
and somehow last. Oh, Anonymous, no.
Okay, so we have 2 swings on board. 2 Dawn up. So
I think
that
it's a
can be-
waste to swing with brand new,
Mhm.
probably.
How many in hand?
I think it's
1,
probably
2,
a waste to
3,
swing with brand new.
Four?
I don't think it adds anything to put 3 Dawn on brand new.
True. But again, if he can't develop multiple blockers, what else
So
can he
you
do?
have 6K.
Because he's at 0 life.
Yeah.
I mean,
No. I know I've said this at least 3 times, but now it's either game or not.
yeah, you gotta go for it. You stack everything on the leader.
You would need sovereignty, 2 2Ks, and a
He does
1K.
have 2 Dawn
And
up.
If you
So
truly
the 2
have
Dawn
that,
could be either for
wow.
1 sovereignty
I do
or
have
for
it.
2
Or
arrows.
Or 2
Yeah.
arrows.
Well played. I should have split it up, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you
7,
should have split it up.
7 and 9.
You should have split it up.
Oh, and he has the counter. He has the
we just
counter.
ran through
Yeah.
it, and he had the
No,
counter.
he said the only way I win is if I have Ikoku, 2 2Ks and a 1K, and this is exactly what I had.
Oh my
There you go.
goodness, he had the
I
counter.
should have gone 7.
He describes his
I literally
defeat.
said it, and I should have
And
gone.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's what we were
Had I
talking
gone,
about. I think Mujinator, that
7?
last turn,
Yeah.
that
Seven would've been
had
2K.
to, he had
And
to
a
make the
1K?
decision based
No,
on his
no,
hand.
six,
yeah.
If he didn't
Oh,
have the
yeah,
counters,
right.
you have to go
Yeah.
for
That's a
game.
good point.
Exactly.
Even
So
seven
I'd have
and
And it was
nine.
good that he
Eight?
waited for him to
Eight,
drop
so
some
it'd
stuff
be
from his hand and
2
then go
and a
for
1.
it.
And then 10? Is
No, Ikoku's 11.
That's a good point. Yeah, no, I don't
there's
win
no
either
way.
way.
Again,
Oh.
that 6K leader ruins
Oh, that
a
was a
lot
2K.
of
I
map.
would've- I would've just made- What was in your hand?
No, I actually had a lot of bad cards.
So if I did 2 9Ks, you would have lost?
Oh.
Yeah, see, there was a lot of no counter in that hand.
Yeah,
There's some good sportsmanship between these players. You know,
Good game.
you
That
love
was
to
a crazy
see
game.
players reviewing and going over what each of them could have done better. This is how the community develops. This is how people get better. And, you know, you love to see it. And that's one thing I love about the One Piece community at large.
And I'm glad that we
Wait.
got a good first
Oh, so
game
you had
Great
3
first
to
non-counters.
start off.
Great.
Great.
What was it?
And
Two
at this
non-counters.
point,
I had
thank you
2
guys
2Ks,
everyone
2
for watching.
1Ks, and 3 non-counters.
We will
So
hopefully
you
have a
would-
lot
I
more
would've-
videos
I would
for
have
you.
swung 9. You would
And
take
we
a
hope you
2K
like it.
hand.
Let us know what you
Could you have
Keep
blocked the
coming
second?
back, guys. Keep coming back.
9K.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I had a 2 2 1.